I wanted to really celebrate restaurants that are bringing a perspective to an area. And I think that that's what we're seeing with new restaurants and seeing here in Clawson, for Sozai specifically, it's that perspective of wanting to serve sustainable sushi.
Clawson, a small metro Detroit city with a thriving restaurant scene. During the first year of the pandemic, we followed Clawson's small businesses as they weathered the storm. But since then, a new restaurant has opened and was named the Detroit Free Press Restaurant of the Year. Sozai, run by Chef Hamije Sato. Sozai is one of just a small handful of restaurants in the whole country serving sustainable sushi. I met up with Free Press food critic Lyndsay in downtown Clawson at White Wolf Japanese Patisserie to discuss her top 10 new restaurants list and why Sozai got the top honor.
Your list struck me as very unique because, as you said, all the restaurants on this list in some way are building businesses with humanitarian or environmental efforts. Great food is the baseline expectation, but to make that list, restaurants had to be more than just great food.
Restaurateurs really were intentional when they launched their restaurants over the past year because I think that they saw what was needed in the industry. I think they saw that you needed to be really mindful of diversity. You needed to be really mindful of things like sustainability. They really needed to pay attention to the impact that a restaurant has on our society and on our community and on the world at large. The starting point was the traditional great food, great service, great ambiance. And so that's when I was able to really see, hey, what are they doing beyond the great food? I mean, I think what is interesting about Sozai is that sustainability as a pillar at the restaurant goes beyond even just his sustainable sourcing. There's also this concept of sustainability within his hiring practices. He offers benefits to his full-time employees. I mean, he offers health insurance, which is something that, you can't be sustainable if you're not creating a sustainable environment for your workers. His philosophy of taking that extra step, going above and beyond, is evident in everything that he does at Sozai.
As a sushi lover, I needed to get the Sozai experience myself. I booked a reservation at their sushi bar and showed up early to speak to Chef Sato and see him and his staff prep the kitchen for dinner service.
It is really hard to think that the sushi can be sustainable because do you eat sushi?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so what's your favorite?
See, now I feel bad to say it because I had no idea that eel is a really unsustainable fish.
How about the yellowtail? Do you like that?
Yep.
Okay,
yeah.
That's not sustainable. Mm-hmm. How about bluefin tuna? Maybe. Do you know what kind of shrimp that you eat? Mm-hmm. We are literally talking about 4 or 5 species that everybody has. That's probably 90% of the sales. I cannot use any of that. The sous chef has to make a decision of changing that. That's almost impossible. That's crazy, right? So that's why maybe 10 of the sustainable sushi places in nation at the time that I switched 13 years ago, and now it's about 10.
Wow.
So it's not really catching on.
According to Lyndsay's article, the amount of sustainable seafood in American restaurants has actually decreased in recent decades, and about 34% of seafood served in America is unsustainable.
The thing that really frustrates me, that sous chef who say that, well, I have kids and maybe my kid's gonna, take over my restaurant in the future. Do you understand that within like 10, 20 years, you're not going to get any seafood left when you're doing what you're doing? Sometimes I feel like you can make a little sacrifice in your life, a little bit, right? Then that's going to change a little bit, right? Crazy guy like me changing the seafood sustainability and this like 25 seating restaurant's not going to change anything. But think about half of the entire population. Mm-hmm. That's 10% reduction on, let's say, I'm not gonna eat eel all the time, but maybe I'm not gonna eat it maybe 10, 20% of the time. Entire population did it, or half of the population did it.
Right.
That's gonna basically change the entire dynamic of anything that you see.
Chef Sato's advice to sushi lovers who want to eat more sustainably?
Start with, go to the sushi bar or any kind of seafood restaurant, fishmonger. Just say, where does this fish come from? Right? Why do you have this fish? Just a little something. Is it local? Is it seasonal? Whatever that is, right? That's going to change a little bit of people's mind, or saying that, okay, is this sustainable or not? Just say that. Then maybe they're going to think twice about it. Oh, maybe that's how we have to shift, right?
How much do you use more local fish or Great Lakes fish?
So we use a walleye for, we call it pure Michigan roll. And I use a smelt also from Great Lakes. At this moment, there's the two that I use. And of course, I like to increase that.
You also, you do more vegetarian stuff and more with vegetables than a lot of sushi places do.
One of the things that's, I guess if you go to the sushi bar, if you say you're vegan or vegetarian, then you get like just avocado and cucumber roll. We don't do that. We do a lot of pickled vegetables in the house, and we even have an omakase, which is the chef's choice meal for the vegan people. So you're gonna have a lot of choices. And even if you get sashimi assortment, you get a lot of pickled vegetables. And some people don't eat it. It's like, hey, it's vegetable. And I sometimes make them eat it. Eat your freaking vegetables.
And now you mentioned the omakase, the chef's choice experience at the sushi bar. Yeah, tell me a bit about that.
I want people to experience something that you would never ever eat from the menu if it's there. And yes, used to deep fried California roll spicy mayonnaise. And today I might give you the sea snails. But be open-minded. You might like it. You never know what you're gonna get. And sometimes I talk to the customers, and even exactly the same omakase from the menu, I might do a touch different because I talk to the customers, maybe they like this way, maybe I can push a little bit this way. So every time it's different. That's why there's a counter space over here. That's the only time I do omakase, not at the table. I think relationships so important, especially these days, everything's kind of internet-based and there's no human contact that much. You know, people, I think, misses that part of it in a restaurant too. It's so mechanical sometimes, right?
Right.
I'm more old school. I like to have a regular customer for life.
You can find more at onedetroitpbs.org or subscribe to our social media channels and sign up for our One Detroit newsletter.